Welcome to season 3 of Girl You Know It. For those of you joining us for the first time, Girl You Know It is an offshoot podcast for Black Women Connect Vancouver. Black Women Connect Vancouver is a collective of women who come together to inspire, empower, leverage our strengths, and embrace our diverse experiences. It's a community where Black women in Vancouver can build meaningful relationships and celebrate the beauty of Black womanhood. Girl You Know It is a space where we want to create connection in a different way to talk about our shared experiences as Black women in a serious and fun way and everything in between. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back, everybody, to Girl You Know It. Yay. We're so excited to have another episode with you. And today, I'm your host, Nataizya.
I'm your other host, Abby.
This is always my favorite because we don't do it well. I'm your other host, Elle. We're friends here. It's all good.
Yes. No judgment. No judgment. And today we'll be talking about World Mental Health Day. As you know, October 10th is World Mental Health Day. And so we'll be discussing on what mental health looks like right now for the world and also for ourselves. And how do we manage our mental health? So let's get into the introduction. So World Mental Health Day for 2022, the theme is Make Mental Health and Well-Being for All a Global Priority. I paused there.
I was like, oh, what is it? Dramatic. What's going to happen? Damn. Okay. Let's get in it.
All right, don't make me laugh. Okay. While the pandemic has and continues to take its toll on our mental health, the ability to reconnect to World Mental Health Day 2022 will provide us with an opportunity to rekindle our efforts to protect and improve mental health. Many aspects of mental health have been challenged, and already before the pandemic in 2019, an estimated 1 in 8 people globally were living with a mental disorder. At the same time, the services, skills, and funding available for mental health remain in short supply and fall far below what is needed, especially in the low and middle income countries. The COVID-19 pandemic created a global crisis for mental health, fueling short and long-term stresses and undermining the mental health of millions. Estimates put the rise in both anxiety and depressive disorders at more than 25% during the first year of the pandemic. And at the same time, mental health services have severely disrupted and the treatment gap for mental health conditions has widened. So let's dive into some questions about mental health. So reading that, what do you feel? Is it like these numbers are why?
I'm saying,
like, what do you feel?
I understand that. I feel that. It's really sad as well, just to think of how far we are in other things, but then a thing that is supposed to be paramount, right? For us to be able to be successful in our other work is our mental health.
Absolutely.
Right? So.
I mean, I work in mental health and this is not new, and it's very frustrating to continue to hear. I would say especially like the resources and the funding, like it's insane. And I know that like if you start pouring into mental health, you'll never stop because like you will never stop. Every single person deserves free therapy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every single person deserves access to unpacking trauma that we all have, no matter how great your upbringing is. There's still parts of you that need to be worked out and worked on. And it's very frustrating that, like, I know we're working towards ending stigma around it, but we're still talking about it, about how people aren't being resourced, and it makes me really frustrated.
Yeah.
I mean, I can say more to it, but
Yeah. I know. And just even listening to this while reading this, I think that knowing that the gap has widened, because we already know so many, it's understaffed in general, and most times it's either organizations, government funding. There's not enough government funding. There's not enough people. There's not enough people to take care of people, and then those people are burnt out. They're quitting, and then you're like bringing in these other people who are also quitting because it's just created a structure now where it's not sustainable for our mental health.
Yeah.
And so it's like you want help, but then there's like a 4-month wait to get help. And then it's like, well,
Yeah.
we need it right now.
Yeah.
But then those people are also burnt out because there's not enough support for them. And so I feel like we're in this weird cycle that is a little bit scary in some ways, because I just feel like if we don't get control of this globally, then it will become a problem. And that's a little like...
We're already here. The problem is
Yeah.
here. The issues are not going to go away anytime soon.
Yeah.
They talked about like the long-term effects of COVID. You know, kids were going to school.
Yeah.
People were in homes for like long periods of time. Like everybody's collective mental health plummeted, and we joked about it because like you can only like laugh through the pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to get worse, and unfortunately, you know, politicians and election cycles aren't really forward thinking in
No.
that way. And
Yeah.
that's the real unfortunate thing about
It's
it.
true. They're all like doing the Band-Aid thing of like, we're protecting you and your health. I'm like, but our mental health is what actually will affect us in the aftermath. I'm like, you can put up all the restrictions you want, but really this is not going to help us. Like,
Yeah.
do you have anything in place for after? Because that's the
Yes.
problem. And that's going to be the real pandemic.
Absolutely.
Honestly,
We're here.
we're kind
there.
of already there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pandemic babies, right? Just even like social interactions, right?
Yeah.
Like the cut of that. Like some people don't even know how to look somebody in the eye when they're talking
Yeah.
to them. Like things like that. Like
I had a friend
yeah.
who told me that her niece and nephew like didn't know what friends were
Oh.
because they were just like they had grown up and like their formative like early years were like in the pandemic and like their dad was trying to explain what it was, and like grandma and grandpa was like, no, like people your own age, like my sibling, no, like other people, and they could not get it. So like, I don't know what I know kids are resilient and they're gonna be fine.
Yeah,
but,
They'll,
like,
they'll be fine.
they'll learn.
Yeah.
Okay, so retract my story.
No.
No offense at all.
No.
Okay, well, what do you take care of your mental health? Like, what has your quality of sleep been? Do you sleep on a regular schedule? Because we all know, like, sleep does affect our mental health, and the quality of sleep is important. But I know with, like, our jobs, and then you take breaks, and then you go on vacation, like, and you don't
She
sleep.
is calling out.
Wow, I don't feel like
Always expect to read.
I'm not good at sleeping. I'm really bad. I fall asleep on my couch watching like cartoons really early on in the evening, and then I like wake up at 11 p.m. being like, I should have gone to bed, and then you're awake for an hour and a half because you've missed it on the window, and then I don't sleep very well. So I know that there's things, you know, like a sleep hygiene and like patterns and behaviors that can like wind yourself down. And I haven't gotten there. I haven't reached that adult level. I haven't unlocked it to be like, you need to go to bed. Like, just go to bed.
Time to go to bed.
Don't sleep on the couch. Just move yourself to the bed.
Yeah.
I haven't unlocked that yet. I'm still like, I'm a baby adult and I'm gonna do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not good at sleeping.
I feel like for myself, it's changed because right now I work in the educational system. So beforehand, like during summertime, I'm like, YOLO, half falling asleep at like 9 p.m. But like, you know, still there.
You're still a grandma.
Yeah.
Tyler's coming in with a shade.
I
like,
know, like
just like
shooting arrows over here, this girl. But like when I'm at work, it's something I'm working on it. I'm also like, I don't have to go to bed at a certain time, but then I'm like so grumpy. But when I do set those routines in place, it does help my overall mental health and just like well-being and just being able to succeed in whatever I'm doing the following day. I do think that though, because during the pandemic, I was sleeping all the time. I was also working an opposite shift because I was working for a company in China, so my sleep schedule was like night shift, right?
Okay.
Those poor nurses that do night shifts. So all the nurses in my family, I'm like, okay, I understand. I'm so sorry, but that was rough. And then after getting away from that job, trying to find that groove again, oh my goodness,
Hard.
it was so hard.
Yeah.
So hard.
I think for me, I've always had sleep issues in general. I think
Yeah.
it started probably in college, where it got worse, like insomnia.
Yeah.
And I think as like time progressed, I was like, okay, let me slowly start getting. But I cannot sleep before 12 p.m. because if I sleep before 12 p.m., I'll wake up at like 2 or something.
You mean
And
12,
then-
you mean 12 a.m.?
Yeah, sorry, 12 a.m. But if I sleep before, if I sleep before 12 a.m., like even if it's like 11 p.m., like it will just throw everything off and I'll wake
Really?
up at 2 a.m. and then I won't sleep. Yeah.
That's
it's
wild.
So frustrating.
That's why you're always up texting me like,
Yeah, I'm like, I don't
"Girl, you
care.
need to sleep. Don't you have work?
All these ideas come in at like 1
Yeah.
a.m. I'm like,
Yes.
what? We're supposed to have a meeting?
Morning,
I know, it's
the
just like,
next morning, it's like,
Yeah,
I
I know. I learned to like preset emails now. And yeah, because I remember I was even doing it for my jobs, and some of my bosses were like, "Are you up this late?" And I'm like, "Oh, I should be like, I should pretend to send emails later." So yeah, so that's been my struggle. But I feel like it's hard because then I have to like push myself to stay because then I'm up all night, and then I have all these ideas, and then I'm like, oh, then I think of all the things I would do, but then I sleep at like 5, and then I like need to wake up in 2 hours, and then I'm like so exhausted, and then pregnancy now is just a whole nother journey. So I feel like that hasn't helped, but it's like also has helped because like
You're
sometimes
growing
like
a
how so?
human.
yeah, well sometimes like I will sleep early, like I'll get tired early, like I feel like
Yeah.
my body does wind down, but then I need to pee. And then it's like, okay, let me
Dang
go.
it.
So you're not really getting
Yeah,
to
it's
sleep
not.
because little ones kicking
Yeah,
your bladder.
exactly. It's like, so it's interesting. So I feel like I'm in like another wave where I'm like, okay, how do I take care of myself?
but like, how have you tried anything to help you sleep before midnight? And
Yes.
like what have you tried?
Like melatonin probably works the best, but I just didn't want to be like taking it consistently.
day.
Yeah. So melatonin for sure probably helps the most. I did the whole tea thing. I did the meditation, journaling, read a book. Like I
eye
did
roll.
everything.
You did everything.
Yeah.
Did a walk. Like it just doesn't. My mind just doesn't for some reason. And then I look back at my life. I'm like, we're all night owls in my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we really, really are. Like I watch my parents stay up late. My mom would work late, come home late, and like my dad stays up. That's when he does his work too. And I think that like we just kind of created this habit of like we were just
I know.
yeah, we just worked at night.
Follow-up question. I mean, if you don't know me, I'm a follow-up question person.
Yeah.
Do you then nap during the day? Like I couldn't
Yes, we
function.
love a nap.
Okay,
We love a
okay,
good
thank
nap.
you.
No.
I was
but
like,
before,
there's stipulations.
Yeah, there
Okay.
is. So
Okay.
before pregnancy, if I took a nap, I would never get up. Like I would never sleep at night at all. So I couldn't nap at all. So I'd have to make sure that I couldn't nap. If I did, it had to be like 5-10 minutes, like 15, like quick nap here and there. But otherwise, I will not sleep at night.
I do say I'm the type of person, you know that like meme that's everywhere. It's like you go down for a 20-minute nap. And
It's like 3 hours.
three,
Yeah.
3-4 hours later, and you're like, whoa, okay.
Is it
That
6, is it 6 a.m. or 6 p.m.?
Yeah, right? Which one is it? Yeah, that's me.
I mean, kudos to your body for continuing to like uphold you, because I mean, I don't sleep very well during night, but I will nap during the day.
Yeah.
Like I will find the
Interesting.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for naps. I think naps are important. So, have you been isolating yourself from work, friends, or family? We're doing a mental health check-in.
Ooh.
What does your stage look like right now?
Isolating myself from work, family, or friends. Right now, for me, is probably, well, actually, work because of the season. It's a wedding month, so right now it's like, I have to close the door. Once I'm out of there, I'm out of there. And then I focus on,
Everything else.
the wedding.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
The wedding.
I find that like as like summer moves into fall, I tend to isolate a little bit more as like the days, you know, get shorter. It just feels like my body wants to go into a cocoon. And like we talked about last episode, you have your circle, like a close circle of friends.
Yeah.
And so like those are the people that I still show up for. but it's harder for me to like get out because in the summertime you're like everybody's outside, we're all outside,
Yeah,
like spend money
yeah.
outside. Beyonce
Yeah.
just released a new album, so we're all
And
outside.
she said, "Go outside."
And she said, go outside. So
She
I'm
told
gonna listen to
everybody
Queen
to go
Bey,
out.
King Bey, exactly. So, but like as it's like it turns into fall, it just feels cozier at
Inside.
home, and like it's nice and warm, and like I don't really want to go spend money. I spend too much money in the
You'd rather
summertime.
be with Lucifer? Is that it?
No, Lucius.
Oh, damn.
Lucifer. Damn.
Sorry.
What is Al into?
For those who are joining us for the first time, Lucius is my couch's name, and his name is not Lucifer.
Girl, me and names.
But
ain't
yes,
it.
I would
It
much
ain't
rather
it.
be. I would much rather be with Lucius,
Lucius.
watching, animation, Disney Plus, all that stuff,
I love it.
or painting my numbers in my home.
Lucius, not Lucifer. You crying?
I'm literally crying.
I was like, it's an L name.
With a double.
Like of all L names, like
Lucifer.
Well, it was LU, so I
You
got
got
it.
it,
I
you
got
got
it.
it.
I'm
Okay.
gonna give it that to you.
Okay, nobody come for me. I don't do names.
Okay.
I'm more faces, okay?
Fair. But I don't isolate from work. I feel like in the summertime, I'm like, meh, work. But like as I'm like buckling down and like being more at home and I work from home, it just feels more like, gotta be more present.
Yeah.
yeah, I probably am the same. I think once fall hits, I'm definitely like let's cozy up. I don't want to see anybody. It's raining. No, thank you. Like I just.
I'll stay inside.
Yeah,
please.
and like working virtually now, I'm like, oh, this is a blessing. I never have to leave. I mean, there's moments where I'm like, I have not left the house for like 3 weeks. I'm like, I should probably get out. Yeah, and like when I lived alone, I think it was worse because my parents would be like, have you seen anybody? Like they would literally actually be like, you should see people. So I do feel like I can, like the same thing how you said, like even like with being an introvert and stuff like that, it's easy to just be like, oh, I haven't even seen anybody, you know?
Yeah.
And I think during COVID it even made it worse because like no one was seeing anybody. So I was like, well.
Sipping her tea.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
but introverts loved
It was
COVID.
so
People loved it. They didn't have to have.
Yeah.
They didn't have to like have an excuse for not showing up. They didn't have to do anything. They're just like, it's a pandemic. I am not going outside. I don't want to get sick. Goodbye. Like this is them. So I feel like you love that.
Yes. I had no like, "Oh, I'm sad. It's only when I did get COVID. Then I was like, people, someone take care of me.
Somebody take care of
Yeah, like such a baby. So yeah, for sure. Okay. Do you have more worries or anxiety than usual right now?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Abby has like wedding.
Yeah.
Like not even a hesitation.
Let me just come out there. Yes. Like I said last episode, weddings are stressful. So much stress.
So much stress.
But yeah, once the season's done, I'll probably be not like I'll be good. I might have like some remnants of like
Yeah.
Post traumatic stress.
Yeah.
post-traumatic stress of,
Yeah,
like,
I can't imagine. Yeah.
but yeah. Yes.
No.
But
There's
this,
like panic in your eye.
but this helps being around. I'm
Yeah.
also one part of me is very extroverted and I need people. I need laughter.
Yeah.
I need love. I need out.
Yes. Yeah.
Of side of my responsibilities, I
Yes.
guess, or
So
like
you do escape.
Yeah. But you know what? Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm in a state of like, I wouldn't say boringness, but just like coasting. And that feels really nice sometimes to like, there's some like work anxiety that comes up and it like flares up and then you kind of deal with it and it goes away. But I'm not a person who gets anxious a lot. I'm a person who like gets like depressed. If I do, it'll be the opposite way and I get in a funk. And so even though I'm an introvert and like I love my alone time, I need to be careful that I don't go so far into the deep end that I'm like, do I have friends?
Yes.
Yeah,
Does
yeah,
anybody
yeah.
love me?
Does anybody love me?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's because I can go that way.
Yeah.
And so that's where I have to be careful. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, definitely more anxiety for sure. Especially now, because I'm like, how do you plan for a baby? What is childbirth? How do I get childbirth? Like, I'm just
How
like,
do I raise one?
Yeah.
it's like, that part is not the
Not
after
ew.
childbirth. Like, that's
yeah.
like, do I want it at home? Do I don't
Ooh.
know.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's
all the
so many things
Yeah.
So
out
many
there. Like,
questions.
I feel like there's way more options now. Like, yeah, so I feel like I'm really anxious. Like, sometimes I'll forget and then be like, ugh, this has to come out. Like, and then you're like,
Oh yeah.
So I feel like I've been getting super anxious about that. Like, sometimes I'll stay late up night and be like, I don't know what to do. And then, like, you know, when you're, like, Googling things and stuff like that, and then start popping your ads pop up. And
I'd see Google is the worst for that. She'll
Listen,
take
tell
you down
your
a deep,
business.
dark hole.
I know. And so I'm just like, oh, then my Instagram, like, discovery page is all, like, people giving birth. I'm like,
Oh, no.
So I feel like I'm getting anxious now. Like, sometimes I have to be like, okay, you don't need to watch this. This is okay. Like, your experience will be your experience. So I'm trying to learn to just, like, put a boundary up when it comes to that. Okay, another check-in. Have you lost interest in activities or pursuits that usually held your attention?
I mean, I lost interest in working out 2 years ago. But I don't think it's going to come back anytime soon. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that me.
For me, I'm losing interest in watching TV. I'm reading more books.
Oh,
For a while, I didn't read a lot of books because all the books I read were for school, and that was forced upon me, right? Where now I'm reading in enjoyment rather than watching TV.
Yeah,
like,
getting lost.
Yeah, like my husband Curtis he'll be sitting there watching TV, and I have like my headphones in, but we'll be together doing something together, but still separate. Yeah, because I'm like, I really don't care about the show. It's not moving fast enough for me.
Yeah,
is that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone has different interests. Yeah.
Did you find that you lost interest in something during the pandemic?
More so.
Like during the like over the course of the 24 months that was like the one long year of the, acute pandemic.
I think it was like, I love getting dressed up, as you can tell by my hair, my makeup, my lipstick. I love getting dressed up to go out, to be somewhere, right? So I got none of that in the pandemic, so I lost interest in makeup and buying new things. Well, no, I still bought things. Let me not lie. But getting dressed up to go out, because I wasn't going out, right? So
I don't think I lost interest in things. I think I gained more interest in caring to, like, be more creative in my cooking and taking care of my body and stuff. I was one of those people, but I just didn't like post about it.
Wow.
But like, not that I was
she has content, but she doesn't want to share.
No, privacy. Content. Yeah, because remember when I got married and then I was like posting things I would like make for my husband. I was like, because he's vegan, and then people were like, oh, now she's a housewife. I'm like, listen, I've been cooking
from the beginning.
Yeah. So like stuff like that, that was like fun for me. But like, I would love to do it for myself. Be like, oh, what can I make today? So I think that was something. So I don't think I lost interest in anything. Anything that like would make me sad where I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, there was nothing. Yeah, for me anyway.
I mean, I think I was kidding about losing interest in working out, but now I'm like, oh shoot, that was deep. I actually really lost interest in working out. I just was like, I don't.
Did you do it a lot? Like, were you?
I was pretty consistent. And then the pandemic hit, and I think my body just cocooned in a protective manner. And I think because I work in mental health, because I work in healthcare, I was literally getting updates about the pandemic all the time.
That's exhausting.
And
oh, dear.
That actually was when I was very anxious. I was so anxious. Like every single time Dr. Bonnie Henry had her like daily briefing, like I could feel my body just react. And I think that actually... I was just like, I can't, I felt paralyzed. And I think that's why I stopped working out. And then, the world opened up this year and I was like, well, this body got me through the pandemic. I'm not going to get mad at her for that. Yeah. So, I mean, she likes to eat and she likes to cocoon. So, but
eating cocoon.
Yeah.
All right. Have you felt more sad than happy lately?
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to not answer.
Okay. Yeah. I think for me, I'm in the middle. Like, there's no, like, extreme happiness, but there's not an extreme sadness. Like, I just feel like I'm just there. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say that I'm in in anything.
Yeah. What you, babe?
I wouldn't say I'm in the middle. Actually, the thing is, this year for me has been both. Yeah. A lot of sadness within the joy. For the listeners, I lost somebody who was really special to me this year. But within that, I was able to get married with her there. My grandma, my shosho. So there was a lot of both. And I'm still feeling it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I am really, with all that anxiousness about a wedding,
Yeah.
I'm really trying to be happy. And there is moments because me and Curtis we're married, so I'm living that newlywed life. So I am happy about, like, I have really good moments that just make me feel really grateful that we were able to share that with her. And then now I'm living this life, and now I'm planning this wedding this month. You know, yeah, both. This year has been really a strong, sad, and happy for me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realize this was a this year question.
Oh, in general.
I just said it.
It says lately, so
I really like the this year. I'm gonna
Okay,
go back
yeah,
to my
okay.
answer. I'm gonna erase my answer. I'm gonna
Okay.
come back to it. So this year, I feel like it has been more sad than happy, but in a way that cultivated growth for myself.
That's good.
Just because I am a person who can feel sad, but like doesn't really want to go too deep into it.
Yeah.
And this year I started therapy with a non-binary person, and they've been great in terms of like getting me out of my head and stop talking about like how I think something's happening and how I feel about something. And so now I've just been noticing more and like validating that feeling of sadness, and then like being grateful for something else, or being like, okay, I'm sad and this is okay to be sad. So I feel like this year's been a lot more sadness than happiness, but yeah, I'm not mad about it. I'm actually really grateful because I got to be vulnerable and pull people in. I think that was the main thing.
Being
I'm usually
vulnerable.
like I'm an introvert and like social introvert, but like everything's okay.
Yeah.
And like this year it's like, nope, not everything's okay. I'm actually really struggling.
Yeah.
So I think like, remember from Inside Out? Did y'all watch
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And Sadness, like she's the one who
Yeah,
pulled
she's
everything
like,
in. Every time I watch it, I'm like, she's amazing.
It's true.
So, yeah.
Learning to accept our sadness, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Being okay with being sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to learn that earlier in this year too, I think. Because like I had a really tough pregnancy, like the first 3 months where like I actually was so miserable that I actually did become depressed. And I was like, I hate this. I hate all of this. Like, why is this happening? And like, it was so hard to even get out of bed. Like, it was a struggle. Like, your hormones and your emotions all over the place, but then you're also like sick, and you're just like, no one ever talks about like that part. And I think as I was like experiencing it and like researching, I didn't even know there was, I don't even remember the term right now, but there is a term for being depressed while you're pregnant that people don't actually talk about, because people most talk about like postpartum. But there is one before, and I didn't know, and I was like having all the symptoms, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm showing all the symptoms. Like, even for me it was more temporary, but I was still experiencing everything. Where some women like either experience it throughout their whole pregnancy or like
That's
the end of
rough.
pregnancy. So I feel like I didn't know that was the thing, and so I had to learn to even check in with myself. I'm like, okay, it's okay that you're sad, because everyone is like, you should be happy. This is the happiest moment. Experience all the joys, and I'm just like I'm not sad. I'm pregnant. I'm sad. Like, just sad.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? And it was hard to explain to people because everyone's so happy for you, but you're like, thank you. Like, and I just didn't know how to respond. So I feel like that was a hard thing for me, and I feel like I just got out of that. Like, I'm still kind of like learning to be like, yeah, I'm pregnant, like, so yeah, that's kind of like why I feel like I'm in the middle. Yeah.
I follow-up question.
Yes.
Sorry, you have to look at me for my follow-up questions.
Yes, I love it.
While you were experiencing like this antenatal or like depression, how was your partner in terms of supporting you? Like, was he the one who was like, hey, my girl, something is off with you?
Yeah.
Or were you the one who was like, hey, I'm like really struggling and like I need you to be a support system for me?
I think it was both. I think, like, obviously you see your personality change. I mean, right now I'm not the funnest person. Like, my mood swings are wild. So I think he's just experiencing all the journey. But, like, yeah, you could tell, like, I just was, like, not doing anything. I was just so sick. Like, I was barely eating. So he was just kind of like, do you want me to make you food? Like, do you need
He's
tea?
just trying to take care
Yeah,
of you.
like, it's kind of one where someone feels helpless because it's
Yeah.
like they don't know what else to do to help you. And I think that was really hard for him. And I think for us, because we, like, in late last year also experienced, like, a miscarriage. And so I think, like, it was kind of like this, like, journey that we were on. It was like everything was happening so fast, but also a lot of sadness. So it's like, how do we take care of both of each other? You know what I mean? Because we're both
Yeah.
experiencing it in different ways, right? It's like you are experiencing your partner be a different person, and you don't know how to help. And I'm just like, I don't know. I feel helpless because nothing's changing emotionally. So I think that, yeah, we've just learned to just, like, I think we actually do really well in those times. I will say that. And so I'm grateful for that, the support. Yeah.
And Miss Abby,
I
what
feel
about
like
your man and how he supported you?
just made me love him even
Really?
more
Aw,
than anything.
That's so cute.
I know, so cheesy, but just thinking about how pretty much how everything went down this year, right?
Yeah.
Like
no questions
no
asked.
questions
no
asked,
hesitation,
nothing.
Yeah.
No hesitation. I got you. We're doing this. What can I do for you?
Wow.
Like, how can I help your family? I'd say, oh, my parents need this. He's there. He's got it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely, we had been dating, I guess this year would be 7 years. And this is definitely a new experience for me. Well, yes and no, but, like, it definitely, we were able to go in deeper in our relationship. Fortunately, sorrow, heartache.
It does.
Does
It does
that.
bring you closer.
It does bring you closer, so I was really proud.
Wow.
I picked a good one.
I was going to say solid men all
Solid
around.
man. I picked a good one.
It's true, because you do wonder about those moments, right? Like, you
Like, how
say
are
your
they gonna
vows,
react?
you say
Yeah.
these things. You date someone, you're like, okay, you know, like, we had our fight, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, but, like, it's not anything serious. Like, you can get out of a fight, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But, like, when you really experience something traumatic or sad and, like, you just don't know how to get out, you know? And I think it also helps when someone has been vulnerable about their own struggles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then you know they've experienced sadness or they've experienced whatever to get them to a place where they're at now. So it's like they understand you, you know? I think sometimes when you are in, like, a situation with someone who, doesn't matter who, like, can be friends, family, you know, if they have never experienced, like, extreme sadness or extreme whatever, or, like, yeah, anything that has made them to a place where they question things, I think it doesn't, the support looks different.
Totally. And I would even say, I was joking about this earlier, I'm like, if someone tells me that they're completely fine and they've had no issues in their life, and, like, I'm like, that's problematic, you get out
I
of my
know
life.
someone like that. They
Help.
literally would
You
sit
need
there at work and
help.
they'd just be like,
Everything's
I don't know
fine.
how to help. And you, like, they'd just be like, I don't know. It's weird because they had, like, a counseling background, but they would just be like, I've never experienced any sort of trauma in my life. And I was just like,
Huh?
and, like, any sadness. I've never lost anyone important. And I'm just like, you sure?
I mean,
like, or, like, you
And
just,
not that you had to lose someone, but, like, there's no way
They had
in your
nothing.
life. But,
Nothing.
like, again, if you maybe they say that they had nothing,
but that's the thing.
but they're in denial. And so my thing is, if you're telling me that you have
haven't dealt
nothing in your life, that's scary to me,
Yeah.
because then you haven't dealt with it, and I don't know when that's going to go off. I don't know if I'm going to be a casualty in that. And
Yeah.
also, like, I'm dark and twisty. Like, I want to be able to, like,
Okay, Meredith
Like-
Grey.
wow, like, literally, it's coming for me. Okay, so I pulled from Grey's Anatomy.
I'm the biggest fan.
Okay, but I
Support
am-
these quotes.
I am dark and twisty, and I am, like, a twisted sister. So, like, I just need to know that all the people in my life,
Yep.
yes, they're all solid. Yes, they're all, like, amazing, but, like, they've all gone through
Yeah.
something, and have been vulnerable about that. And, like, that just helps, you know, empathize and a bonding and a camaraderie, right? So, not like misery loves company, but it's just like, hey, we can be in it together
Yep.
and, like, do life together in the highs and the lows.
Yes,
So,
Yeah.
exactly.
if people tell me that, I'm like, run.
Yes, no, same.
Run.
And you do see that later on, like
You
like
do.
when
Fully.
when something does happen, you tell them, they're like, "That's so sad. I'll be thinking about you," and you're like, "Okay," and then you're like, "Okay, I will never talk to you about anything ever, ever."
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and that's why I guess when you get older, like we talked about last episode,
Circle gets
your circle gets smaller. you have your
My
certain amount
patience
of
is
people.
lower.
Yeah, your patience is real low for certain type of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's why you got to choose who's in your circle, who's in your vicinity
Very
carefully
carefully.
to
The
protect that space,
The
to
energy.
protect your mental health, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super important.
All right. Do you feel that your life is appropriately balanced between work, fun, friends, family, self-care, exercise, and other meaningful things?
Damn.
Are you
That's
well?
a lot.
Are
That's a
you
lot.
well? Okay, really, just come on.
Okay, say it again.
Are
Okay.
you well balanced? Like, stop making it complicated.
Mom, you said like 17 different
Yeah,
things,
because
okay?
what makes a well balanced person? Your family, your friends, things that you love, your self care. You know, like.
Still making lists.
I know,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
Really, it's the same thing.
Whatever.
But still.
Just making lists.
I feel like for myself, I've learned to balance my life a lot better because usually at the end of that list was self-care.
That's
Because
true.
I'm gonna give to everybody else, and then I'm burnt out,
Yeah.
and then I can't do anything for myself. I often get like that.
Yeah.
So definitely have learned say no. Don't say yes to everything. Keep a calendar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
See if you can do it, right? Yeah. So that you can put yourself forward. And now that this new life that I'm in, keep bringing this up, but this is reality of my life, newlywed, there's another person to think about,
Yep.
right? So
Yeah.
making time for us.
That's true.
So, yeah.
You're doing better though, because you are a giver,
I
and you would
know.
literally
I'm
just
doing-
be everywhere
I know.
for no reason. Like,
and then just like
just be home.
jump in.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just like,
Stop
be
helping
like,
people.
Stop talking. Stop answering the phone. Just like, where did Abby go?
Yeah.
Back in 2 days later.
I mean, you're doing what you need to do
Yeah.
to take care of you.
Yeah.
That's that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? If you're hermiting, it's because you've poured and poured and poured out, and now you need to be poured back into.
But that's why I'm like, I need to not get to that point
Very fair. That's true. That's level
because
one.
often, like
She
for
dives deep into it.
ma'am.
Airing dirty
very
laundry.
deep.
This is what happens when you have
She needs
close
a life-
friends at your table. My circle's at this table. Here they are.
She needs a lifeguard.
I know. Right? I get too deep and then I can't breathe and it's too much. Right? And so this year especially, I've had to be like, yo, okay.
Totally. I'm gonna validate that and hold that space, but I'm also gonna say you're probably doing better, like baby steps, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
it's not gonna be
not
like a drastic
it's not a
change.
huge change. I'm working
Yeah,
on
you're working on it. Everybody's
it's a
gonna work on it.
process,
Yeah,
right?
and probably all this is tied to people's perception of you and how you view yourself, and like unlearning that like that needs to happen, and like you are worthy showing up and not pouring out
Yes.
into everybody all the time. It's a process.
Yeah.
I'm therapizing. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I
We
know, I
love you.
it.
And
Thank you.
But I feel like my balance, I feel like it's like better. I feel like, again, I'm working on prioritizing myself,
Love it.
and not always over investing in areas that I don't need to. Like, I'm too grown now to like spend energy in places that I don't need to. So it's again the baby steps of like, maybe I'm not doing it as fast as I want to, but I'm getting there. I'm the awareness is happening, and now it's just like actioning it out. Abby's like smiling at me. But yeah, I feel like I'm getting there.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
And this is the thing, when people know your business,
Yeah.
this is it.
We're giving eyes at the
Exactly.
table right now.
I know.
It's
I'm trying not to
girl,
look at
you're talking
anybody.
about like that,
I'm
yeah,
literally
okay,
trying to
you're
look at
talking
anybody.
about
Okay, Nataizya, go on to you. Let's go on to you. Let's go on to you. Thank you so much.
I think I'm learning to be more balanced. I think before I was not. Like I have so many things I have to do before like maternity leave. So I'm like, I have to do this, I have to do that, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then like my husband will be like, hey, do you want to go out today? And I'm like, wow, the introvert wants to go out. That means I'm the problem. So I was like, so I'm learning also just like to do fun things now. Like actually be like, hey, there's a festival, let's go out. Or hey, there's blah blah blah, let's go out. So I think I need to learn to do the fun things right now. And I just haven't. Like, I've just been home. Like, I've just been lazy, tired, and I'm just like, I'll just be home and FOMO everybody else's boat cruises and parties. But, like, I just don't care to also go out. So I'm learning to just, like, actually just push myself and be like, okay. Because before I used to be the one that's like, let's go out, let's do these things, blah, blah. And it's like, I just want to be home. And then now it's like changed. And I'm like, that means I have completely just been like, I don't want to see anybody. And then that's a problem because I do like to enjoy things, even if it's with one person, you know?
Totally. And it's like just getting yourself out of the house.
Yeah.
Once you get out of the house, it's like, oh man, this is a lot
I'm
of fun.
fine.
It's just like overcoming that like mental hurdle.
Yeah.
And getting out there. Also, you're growing a bit.
Yeah, you're growing a human.
I need to like, we need to put that on the scoreboard
Yeah.
because it's not just like, oh,
not just,
I've
I'm
switched it up.
lazy.
And no, you're
You're
growing
growing.
a bit.
You're growing a child.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Well,
worry. Just
okay,
joking.
that leads into other things. Like, what activities do you ladies do to help your mental health? Like, what do you do other than, like, what are those things you prioritize, like, for yourself? Like, what do you do?
I'm a walker.
Oh, okay.
I don't always do it, but I know that I feel really good after I walk. And there's like science behind that, like if you're feeling like some type of like anxiety or depression, just like that flow of movement really helps to like calm your like equilibrium and like that kind of thing. So
Are you listening to music while you're walking, or are you listening to everything around you?
it depends. It actually depends. So sometimes I'm like in the mood for just observing like my surroundings and being really present and wanting to actually engage with people, because I know the minute that I put on my headphones I'm not going to engage. But sometimes I leave the house and I'm like, I'm gonna be present in the environment. And then I'm like, screw this, I want to listen to Beyonce. And then I put my headphones in and I'm just like walk, and then I speed walk and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting it, like Beyonce is so proud. So it just depends. It really depends on like my mood, but I always like to get those steps in. So yeah.
Important. I think that, I've been doing like the exercising too, but mostly just walking. And I want to start doing the like prenatal yoga and Pilates and, you know,
Stretch
just
it out, Mom.
stretch
it out.
Yeah, that. And also just like center myself into understanding my body, because I feel like that helps my mental health instead of kind of being like, whatever, it's doing what it needs to do and like laying on the couch or something, you know, like actually getting like in tune with what's happening. I think that that's something that I'm doing. Yeah.
Wow.
For me, it's definitely centering myself with prayer and music, worship music.
Yeah.
That will
The
put me
gospel.
right. That gospel will put me right back where I need to be.
Yeah.
That really helps. Honestly, this whole year, let me just repeat it 17 times. That is what has gotten me by. How I'm able to like get outside the door. You know, some days that I just need to just be in the presence of God.
It's funny because like I don't do church anymore, but the gospel music still
It's
brings
still
me back. Like,
inspiring.
oh my gosh,
Honestly.
like it like throws you back, and it's a specific time period.
Yeah.
It's not this new shit. It's like old
Yes.
stuff, right? And
Yeah.
you're like I have to wake up and clean the house because my mom is telling me
Yeah.
to wake up. Like, oh, like just throwing back, like for real.
Yeah. It brings you to a good place.
It really does. It really does.
All right, let's do the last question. So, has anyone in your life taught you strategies to help with your mental health?
Let me bring my mama back into this. I think I said it last episode. She says, don't sweat the small stuff. If you can't deal with something right now, put it away. One step at a time, right? Don't sweat it. It'll work itself out. And I've really had to ingrain that into my head. Like, actually, really.
As humans, we want to control everything.
Yes.
Everything, if you think about it, everything is danger. Everything is awful and bad. So we need to control everything.
Yep.
So, that reminder of not sweating the small stuff is like counterintuitive to like our natural instinct to
Instinct
sweat
to do
all the
it.
stuff.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? So I get it, girl.
Yeah.
I there's not one person. I can't say one specific person. I think that like all
Therapist.
Shout out to
No. What I'm trying to say, don't put words in my mouth. I'm trying to give props to all my people and like
Okay.
the collective like mental health wisdom, because everybody comes with a different perspective, and I appreciate like hearing from different people and having their different takes imparted on my situation. So I'm just gonna. Everybody wins. Everybody's on number one. Not Abby though. I'm just kidding.
Girl, please.
I was trying to bring your ego down, but you up there, girl.
number one.
You up there, girl.
Number
For
one.
real.
Man.
I'm dying. Okay, Miss Nataizya.
Yeah, I think for me, it's gonna be my husband. Because, and I'm
Did
saying,
you see how that she did that? It was
She
her
wants
husband.
it from my husband.
only because he's the only one that calls me out for being like, because everyone else will see me and be like, oh, she's got it all together, blah, blah. But I'm home, I'm stressing. I'm like, oh, this is gonna happen. What if the worst will happen? What if, like, I just will lose my mind? And he's like, you cannot always think the worst will happen. Like, think positively. And like, as much as I hate hearing it, it's true. Like,
The biggest eye roll ever. But she knows it's right.
I know, and I've never told him, so he can hear it on the podcast. So I will say that, like, yeah, he definitely does help me. He'd be like, don't be so pessimistic. Don't overthink things. Things will work out. And like, so I think that helps me kind of like, okay, yeah, things will work out. Yeah, so that helps.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
Well,
In the moment, you don't like it.
yeah, in the moment you're like, no, please
Stop talking positivity.
I know, let me be angry.
Yeah.
Let me just
All right, let's do one question each.
Well, I
Pick a
gotta,
card.
you know, the card. Pick a card. Any card.
Bigger on the ground.
Okay. Abby.
Elle, what?
Did you start
Me?
last time?
I started last time.
Oh.
I'll go.
Elle, you go first.
Please don't be a
If it's the
problematic
same-
question.
If it's, what type of question is it? Oh, look at like.
Sorry, I just feel like this is. Do you think I've ever checked an ex's phone for evidence?
No.
The thing is,
Because you have to know their passwords. Unless they
they left it open.
Yeah, unless
like,
messages pop
right?
out. Yeah.
Message and like.
They do the side eye.
Let me think. Do I think you? I think
Do I give messy energy?
no.
No.
But you do
I think
like
you
to
would think
control
about it,
things. You
yeah.
would think about it. We all thought about
Or
it.
done it.
Okay, call yourself out. We
See,
know.
I read myself.
Okay, good. I'm glad. I don't know. Oh, that's it's not a hard one. The thing is, I'm thinking like you do like to control certain
I do like to control.
situations. Not like
Abby,
you're
why
like,
are we complicating this? Yes or no?
okay, girl. Yes.
Okay, so I'm offended. How dare you?
Okay.
Above my need to control is respect for people's
privacy.
privacy.
That's true.
It's because it's and it really is because it's ingrained in me from like nursing school,
Okay.
healthcare. That's it. I think if I hadn't been ingrained, I'll be a
You're
messy
like-
bitch and I'll be taking all the stuff. I'm be really honest. I
so
will be
funny.
doing that shit
Okay,
for sure.
see, I'm not too far.
So,
but like, it's
in
different.
a parallel universe,
Yes.
In
That-
this universe,
that's what I was thinking.
No,
Whatever,
you got me.
bye. My question.
Oh. Did anything break?
No.
All right.
Okay.
That is David.
Hello, David. Thank you, David, for taking the chat.
Okay, do I seem like someone who would get a name tattooed on myself? Why or why not? Oh, we did
Girl,
this.
we did
one.
that question.
Yeah.
Abby, get this together.
Oh my gosh. You're the one that put it out together. Girl.
All right. What do you think is the hardest part of living? Wait, what do you think is the hardest part of what I do for a living? Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, being talking to people in the sense of like not
Professionally.
professionally, like I know right now, like this season, you've been dealing with boundaries. People messaging you personally when it's like, yo, that should have been an email. That should have been an email. I think that dealing with that's a lot. I'm glad I'm not there.
Yeah. And I would agree with that
Right?
completely. I think it's also because you grew this like in a homegrown way.
Yes,
And
exactly.
so people are used to accessing you. And when you become, not when you become, but like when something becomes a little bit bigger or upscaled, it's like now we have to put like processes in place to protect your energy and protect your time and that kind
Yeah.
of thing. And it's not in a way that like I'm better than you.
Yeah.
I'm holding that. It's more like I just need to streamline so like things can get done in a fashion that can be manageable. And I can't do everything. That's why I have a team. Like, it's
Yeah,
everything,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that that's something which, I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm glad that you're having a baby because I get like a baby, you know, niece and nephew, but also you get to take this break and this time for yourself. So yeah.
And hopefully you will take that break.
Yes.
You will turn it
I
around.
You know that
You
this is
will
the thing.
delete
This is the thing.
those
This
girl.
girl.
This girl.
She's gonna take a maternity
I
leave
know.
from certain things.
Yeah. And
This
then,
one? No. And we're gonna force you out.
Yeah.
I know. See,
Gotta keep
you
you
need me
out.
too. Need an intern assistant, anyone? I'm looking. Check my emails, my DMs.
Okay, this is cute. Do you think plants thrive or die in my care?
Die.
What?
I think die too. I think die. I fully think die.
You know what?
No, I think they thrive actually.
Wait, sorry, you're a Gemini sun?
Because she cares.
She's Gemini?
Yeah.
Die.
Gemini Cancer cusp.
Okay, which day were you born on?
Enough.
Well,
Anyway, so now I have 2 living plants.
How long has
For
it been
how
alive
long?
for?
Yeah.
They've been in my care
How long?
for 3 years.
Oh,
Ma'am.
what kind of plant?
Like, do they need care, water?
Yes,
sun?
they need water.
How often do you water
Yes,
this?
not often.
Yeah. So if this was a regular plant,
Girl.
they would die.
That's
Girl,
okay,
it says
but the
thrive
question-
or die.
but
The
the
question
question-
is thrive or die. My baby girls have been thriving.
Have you named them?
No.
Okay.
They're plants.
But baby girls.
I name everything. So.
Yeah, for me, nah, man. I got pets for that. You got a pet? You ain't got a pet.
I got inanimate objects that I name. Yes.
See the
Her
difference.
couch.
Why are we
Not
bringing this up
Lucifer.
again?
It's
Like-
not
Lucifer.
Lucifer. Lucius. I got that one.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. We hope that you enjoyed our discussion when it comes to World Mental Health Day. We also want you to know that we do have resources on our website on no, not that website. We have resources on our website at blackwomenconnectvancouver.com. Just go under resources and there's therapists, coaches, and things like that. And if you are looking for someone to help with your mental health and anything that you're struggling with, if you're looking for a community also, we definitely will be doing something for mental health and wellness. So stay tuned to that because we want to make sure that Black women are healed and taken care of. So we love y'all for listening. Thank you so much. Talk to you next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to our podcast episode. You can find us in all streaming platforms, and you can watch our video recording up on YouTube channel, Black Women Connect Vancouver. Until next time.